How do you do? Can you picture what your childhood days would have been like without toys? It is almost impossible to imagine, but the most interesting thing is that all the world over, kiddies, rich and poor, are extraordinary alike in their tastes. To a child, a toy... All of which leads me to this very unusual collection of native toys from the museum of the Tavistock Clinic. Playthings which have come from uncivilized parts of the world where no Western influence has guided their makers. A really remarkable native model doll, carved from one solid piece of wood. A little child made this replica of her mother. She was evidently a very handsome woman. Now a horse, complete with saddle and rider, made entirely of clay by a small boy. Although primitive, this child's idea of a horse made of tin would really not be out of place in an ultra-modern home. An African fishing boat. This little model was made out of palm leaves. Note the ingenious oars. And this one, another child's work, made entirely of pulp. Observe, too, the child's idea of a rudder, big enough to bring any ship home to port. These seem to be prehistoric beacons, two dolls which might have been used as fans. Or perhaps bats. One little boy living in the wilds of Africa once saw a motor car, so impressed that he made a streamlined model. From Zanzibar comes this cleverly made bird cage. It even has hinged doors. Feathers stuck into the clay bird make it more realistic. He seems to prefer sitting on top, no doubt to obtain a better view of his cage. One of the most remarkable of all, a quaint musical instrument composed of wood and old umbrella spokes obtained from the missionaries. It is quite a usual sight to see the natives playing on them whilst they walk about. I lift my hat to them, which gives me an opportunity for introducing you to Hugh Benison, who lives in a world of fashionable hats. Like all clever artists, this brilliant creator of feminine headwear makes the designing of a hat look as simple as ABC. The crown of a straw hat is prepared with a damp rag, and a hot iron shrinks it to the correct size. Then the brim is cut off. And the all-important process of shaping the crown begins. The brim is replaced, and we begin to see a vision of the designer's creation, the artful simplicity of subtle line and shape. Gaily colored ribbons complete the charming appeal of this dainty design. The naughty 90s inspired Mr. Benison in the making of this demure little bonnet. A new version of an old favorite, the Lady of the Camellias, and very becoming. They say that hair is a woman's crowning glory, but in this case I think it's the hat. And so we will sail away to the South Atlantic, the loneliest island in the world, inhabited by British subjects, Tristan de Cunha. On the way, a few physical jerks. About twice a year, the British Navy brings food and medical supplies to the island. It was after the death of Napoleon that practically the whole of the garrison of St. Helena moved to Tristan de Cunha, founding the present settlement. The island has its dogs, sheep, and cattle, yet no wheat is grown as the rock surface is covered only by sand. Potatoes and root crops take the place of bread. The boat's arrival is naturally a great day for the inhabitants, whose population numbers about 30. Then there are new pots and pans and all sorts of knickknacks. The Reverend Wilde is complete boss of the island. He's dentist, doctor, judge, and general advisor. This strange island, situated midway between South Africa and South America, covers an area of 45 square miles. Its waterfall tumbles from rocks as high as Niagara. These scenes, by the way, are the only motion pictures ever made of this, the loneliest island of British possession. Once again, the whole population turns out upon our departure. So we'll say cheerio to the lonely people of Tristan de Cunha and arrive back in time to see a novelty impression of Phases of Tap Dancing by Joe and Buster, beginning with Grandma's Day. A Lancashire lad and his lass. And now the modern.